Hey there, my name is HW and thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. I want to show you guys real quick how to properly load performances onto the Kemper. Now, first thing to know, although you can load profiles via the USB method, you cannot do that with performances. The only way to load performances is basically what I'm going to show you in this video. It has to be done through Rig Manager, and it's got to be done with the Kemper plugged in to Rig Manager on a computer. So get your USB cable out, plug it in, and let's get started. Okay, first things first, switch your Kemper to performance mode, because we're talking about performances. Your Kemper should be in performance mode while we do this. That'll make everything function as it should. All right, I'm looking at my performances, which are on my profiler. I also have a bunch of performances on my local library. Now, practically, you're probably going to download a performance from the internet, like a lot of people do with like Tone Junkie stuff, right? So check it out. Let's say you downloaded this is 100 performances that we offer for the Kemper, and it's all these popular worship songs. You know, it's got Miracles, Surrounded, The Blessing, all these famous popular worship songs that people do on Sunday mornings. We're also going to have some stuff coming out for all you Friday night dudes. I'm working on some performances that kind of capture classic sounds of artists and different stuff like that. Anyway, let's say you download something like this, a free pack or whatever. First thing you can do is we can take all these and, oh no, we can't drag them all at once. We can only drag them one at a time. That's because each of these performances is not actually blank. There actually is a performance slot in there. So first way we can get performances into the Kemper, we can drag them, but unfortunately we've got to drag them one at a time. Now you might be thinking, HW, come on, I just want to add all these so I can play around with them. Well, in my profiler, it's important to know that we're adding them to the profiler itself and not to the local library on our computer. And so how I would recommend you use the Kemper is use the local library to store everything and then just put on the Kemper what you want to take with you to a gig. So let's put that hat on for a second. Let's pretend we're getting ready for a gig, okay? So let's take this bundle number 2, and I'm going to drag it over, and boom, I just added 25, right? So I had about 75, now I got about 100, I got 97, 72, and now I've got 97 performances in my local library. I've got so many. I could put them all on my Kemper, and here's how you do it. There's a couple ways. One is, I showed you I can drag them all over. The other is I can straight up just copy and paste. So I could say Surrounded, I'm going to copy that, I'm going to come over to my profiler, and I'm going to paste it, and that works too. So we can drag one at a time, we can paste, and then here's the other way that you may not know about, and it's kind of how I like to use the Kemper. Okay, let's say for a minute that this is our set list, okay? 4 through 7. We're going to do a 4-song set. And, I'm sorry, 4 through 8. We're going to do like a 5-song set. And let's say that that was the set I did, and then now I'm getting ready for another set later on in the evening or next week or whatever. I want to replace these songs with other things, right? So here's what I can do. If I can select whichever one I want to change. Now here's what's important. Select what you want to change on your profiler first. Now when I come over to local library, I can look at my little list and I can say, oh, this one called Lion and Lamb is my performance that I want to be in that number 4 slot. When I double click it here, look at this little button that appears in the corner. Store performance in profiler number 4. Aha! We told the Kemper what we were editing in the profiler. We came over and selected a performance. So it gave us this option. Store performance in profiler number 4. Now, you see those little circles that appeared? That means the Kemper was thinking. Now let's come over. Look what's magically number 4. Lion and Lamb. Okay, now let's say my next song that I need in my profiler, I'm going to double click it. I'm going to come over to local library. I'm going to search, and it's this song called Ever Be. Okay, I'm going to double click Ever Be, and now I'm going to hit this button again, store performance in profiler number 5. So you can see right away that this is a really easy way to go about and reorder your set list and say, especially if you've got a list already and you know the songs you're doing, I'm going to add Won't Stop Now to number 6. Boom, hit the button. It thinks for a second. If I look over at my Kemper, which is off screen, you know, it says loading performance. Now I come back in and look, I'm completely replacing last week's or last night's set list with a bunch of brand new performances. This is how I use the Kemper. This is how I order my performances. I usually use one performance per weekend for me on a Sunday morning. I know not everyone does that. I have started experimenting with using a couple, like multiple performances just for fun. Last thing I want to show you here is, I get this question also, my profiler, they say, hey, help me. I can't delete a performance. Like, it doesn't say delete anywhere. What's going on? And so, let me just help you understand that. We have a bunch of controls here. We can load into editor and preview. That's the same thing as double clicking. We can copy, paste, skip over these next two. I'll come back to that. We can move it up, move it down. We can select everything. Okay, let's unselect everything. Let's go back in here. Export performance and initialize performance. If I export this performance, I'm actually saving it somewhere else. That's a great way to pull out performances. You can also just drag them off your screen. But to delete, it's called initialize performance. What this basically does is sets everything back to this sort of blank, state, where nothing's loaded in these slots over here. We just have the default crunch with the crunch cabinet and the crunch amp. And fun fact, this is actually a sample. Christoph said this one time at an event. This is actually a sample of a popular modeler that was on the market before the Kemper. I'm not going to say which one, but it was actually a popular one, and he knew he sort of needed like a default amp. So he actually profiled like this modeler. And it's just like a default crunch that's in another thing. And he put it in here, and he was like, this will just be the placeholder amp that always loads up whenever you don't have a performance selected, or that always loads as slot 1. Or I think when you get the Kemper, it's like if you have nothing on your Kemper, this will always be there. It's like hard sort of in the software of the Kemper. But anyway, that's how you do it. If I just want to delete all these, I can just initialize performance. I can even highlight multiple ones, and I can initialize performance that way. Yep, that's how you do it. That's how you load them into the Kemper. Now, I am on I'm on the latest build, and it's not a beta build, and I am experiencing no big deal from pretty much this whole thing. It's just telling me that I got to save my changes. But I'm not experiencing any problems right now with stability or anything. Sometimes that creeps up if you start using betas or there's an update. Don't be the guy who updates your iPhone on the first day. That's just asking for trouble. Wait a week. That's my recommendation with any piece of software. Just wait a little bit. Wait a week. Wait 4 days. I like to make a habit of, there's a new version out. I'm just going to say no to that like 2 or 3 times. And then I'm going to say yes. And hopefully they'll either be closer to fixing any bugs that came up, or they fixed bugs that came up. But that is how you load performances onto the Kemper. I hope that was helpful. And remember, it might seem a little tedious to like get 100 performances and bring them all in at once, but it's just really a one-time thing. Bring them over to local library. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, when you're in local library, you can always double click that and you're playing that on the Kemper. So if you just want to try if you buy 100 performances, or you download a free pack, or somebody gives you their 25 performances that they think are so great, you can just throw them into local library. You can play them right there. You only need to put them on the profiler when you want to take them with you, when you're sure this is what I need, this is the stuff I need to take with me. And that's why I have so few things on here right now, because this is just what I'm taking with me to church, or to friends' houses, or whatever. I don't keep a lot of performances on the Kemper, but I do keep a fair amount of profiles. I have like 960 profiles. Too many. But when I'm building profiles, I tend to leave a lot on there. Okay, sound good? Sounds good to me. Thanks so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. Hope this has been a helpful Kemper tip and trick. If you get anything out of these videos, please don't forget, like and subscribe. Tons of Kemper tips and tricks content coming at you as always. HW signing out for Tone Junkie TV. HW out.